Bubu na maintain hata unachekia hata Iran wali retaliate jo na diglo.
Stop shorter.
We are not going anywhere. We are rejecting the finance bill. Parliament tutafika. Niskume. I'm here for Kenya. I'm here for my people. I'm here for your rights. Nitoe. Nitoe, Baba.
Yes, Shakira. Mambo.
Papa.
Sijali na uma yangu.
Hata mimi sauti yangu kuna venye. It's misbehaving, but we will talk.
Yeah, we're here at Cardinal Tunga.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look behind that building and when you pass here, what comes in your mind?
I don't usually pass here. Actually, between last year, June 20th, and now, I think I've passed here maybe 4 or 5 times. It's not a place I usually pass by. But usually, it fuels my frustration to remember that we were out on the streets and what we were fighting for 1 year down the line. The situation seems to be worse. But that point, on that fence pale, hapo ndo nilikuwa face to face na polisi nikamwambia nitoe baba. I don't know what was happening that day, but you know, it was a spur of the moment thing, and I felt it was the right thing to do and try and pass across my message to that police officer.
I mean, what pushed you as an individual to this?
Frustration and anger about the current direction our country is. I feel like we are deteriorating in terms of health, in terms of education, safety, even safety and security is not getting any better. And I wonder if things continue at this pace, what will be left for, you know, the future generation. I have a young son, and actually he's my biggest motivation to be out here, because I do not want to leave behind a country where he'll also be on the streets protesting and complaining that the situation can be better, and the people who've been tasked with ensuring that Kenyans and Kenya as a country actually succeeds, instead of looking at doing their job, they are more focused on their own personal ambitions and, you know, filling their pockets.
Kenyans are celebrating you sana, and I mean, how do you feel when you see Kenyans celebrate the way they are celebrating you?
It's a double-edged sword, to be honest. On one side, I feel like I'm just a regular girl, for lack of a better word, and what I'm doing shouldn't be hailed as something exceptional. It should be something all of us as citizens of this country are doing. But there's also the other bit of where it also motivates me, and I feel encouraged to keep showing up, because it means that whatever I'm doing is impactful. So if I can influence, even if it's just one person, you know, to change their mind about how they can contribute towards the betterment of our country, then I feel like that's a good job I'm doing.
Is there a time that you feel like giving up about with whatever that you know you're doing?
I do have tough days. For example, last week, the protests, we were hijacked by goon, and I managed to stop one of them because he happened to be somebody identifiable, like we knew him by name. And I asked him, seriously, what are you doing? Like, how much? I asked him how much he had been paid. He said 1,000 shillings. And I was like, why are you doing this? Like, you know what you're doing is wrong, but why are you doing this? And he was like, I don't have anything else left to live for. And I needed that 1,000 shillings. And by the time I was getting home that evening, I felt like this burden of, I don't even know whether to say rage, because there's this burning that I feel, but what we are doing is not reaping any results. Like the young people we are trying to have on our sides are the same young people being used, you know, to fight us and cause chaos. So I do have moments where I feel like maybe what we are doing is futile, where I feel like giving up, but then something sparks around me, because by that evening when I was getting home, I was saying I can't go out again if this is what we are dealing with. And then I saw the video of Boniface being shot by the police, and it snapped back, and I was like, I can't give up, and we can't continue living like this as a nation. We have to keep pushing until there's actually change.
Is there a moment that you got into the streets and you felt like your life is at risk?
Every single time, actually. Every single time I walk out of the door and I'm going specifically for protests, I always have it at the back of my mind that this might be the last time that I'm walking out of my home alive, you know. And I always say a prayer, and I do what I can to, you know, to be vigilant and to ensure that no apparent risk. I am not exposing myself to like an apparent risk, but every single time I step out of the door I usually have it at the back of my mind that this might be the last time, unfortunately.
We watched a video, you and you know, Anifa attacking a goon and saying, you know, you can't go with my phone. He was taking Anifa's phone.
You see,
what
now
was
you
going
see,
in your mind at that moment?
You see how you're phrasing it, attacking a goon. We were not attacking a goon, we were defending ourselves.
Of course, that was defending yourself through attacking him.
Yeah.
Because he was the first one to attack you.
Yes. So you know, they had come out with rungus, and this one had this you know, big brown baton, and he was running, hitting people. And I think in that helter-skelter, we got separated for a bit, and he was able to identify Hanifa. And Hanifa always has her phone next to her because she records and she keeps updating people online. And probably that goon decided that she would be an easy target. And Hanifa said, you can't go away with my phone just like that. I had the scuffle, and when I turned and saw Hanifa, I didn't even know she was like trying to protect her phone. I just saw she was in this scuffle with a goon, and I was like, she's on our side, we can't just leave her, we have to protect her. And that's when Manasseh and I went to defend Hanifa, and then people saw that and they came to assist. But it was all in self-defense. To be honest, it's just, you know, this instinct where you need to protect yourself, where you need to stay alive. It's not something that I think about too much. It's like, I saw there was a problem, how do we deal with this problem? And there we were. And you know, the good thing is nowadays, cameras are everywhere. Moments are not missed. At first, when we say that is what happened, people were doubting us. Like, these girls are liars, they're trying to chase for clout. And then eventually, the video came out. Yeah. Eventually, the video came out, and it was like, you see, I mean, why would we be lying about such things? Yeah.
I mean, do you regret joining the movement? Because some of the people have left the movement, like your friend, I don't know if he's your friend anymore, Kasmuel and others.
Yeah.
Do you regret joining the movement?
I don't regret, because I stepped out onto the streets the first time with conviction that we need a better country. And until I see that change happening, I want to stay. Even if I'll be the last person standing, I will stay put. And I don't imagine that I'll be alone at one point. Because out of 57 million Kenyans, a lot of us are frustrated. We can't miss a few hundreds more that are willing to, you know, make the effort, make sacrifice towards calling for change.
Who pays you to do this?
Nobody pays me, unfortunately. Kenyans every once in a while decide to, you know, shikisha kitu kwa M-Pesa. Other than that, I'm a regular citizen. I do have a job. I'm a fitness instructor, and I earn my living mostly from, you know, the sessions that I do with my clients, and now every now and then I have Kenyans contributing some money to, you know, as gratitude or encouraging me. And actually a lot of this money doesn't end up for my own personal use, because we buy water during protests, we buy masks, we print out posters and things like that. So it's just balanced out. I'm a strong believer in risk. Is something we say as Muslims, that what is meant for you can never pass you, and what is not meant for you, even if you have it here at the tip of your tongue, if you are not supposed to ingest that thing, you will never be able to ingest it. So I stay hopeful that I'll never lack. I do what I can, but also depending entirely on, you know, divine power to ensure that I'm well taken care of.
Every young person who joined the movement, right now they are eyeing for a seat somewhere in their villages and stuff. Are you looking maybe joining politics in one of these fine days, becoming either an MP or something?
This is something that I am considering a lot in my mind, and not because it is what I initially wanted, but it is from requests of people around me. Reason being that we are saying we want change, and we've seen that a lot of it is dependent on what is happening within politics, and the system as it is remains that way because the same old oligarchs are still present and taking control of the narrative. So if we truly want change, and we are saying we want change, and we've seen that we can't call onto the morality of the current politicians, it is up to us to, you know, offer an alternative leadership. I don't personally have political ambitions, but if it reaches a point where I feel I'm being called upon to serve, then I am willing to present myself.
Do you sometimes feel like maisha yako iko hatarini?
Always, every single time. I mean, you can be killed walking on the streets. You can be taken from your own house, and the next thing people hear about you is that you are beaten to death in a cell. And the people are saying Kenyans, just being a Kenyan is one of the 1,000 ways to die. So, yeah.
Which current MP mwenye ukupisa off sana? Ukimwona amestep kwa kuongea parliament, unajua tu hapa ni blockade.
I mean, maybe you ask me who doesn't piss me off, because I feel like all of them, when they speak, they are just spewing garbage out of their mouths, you know.
Who give you the struggle vibes?
Among elected members of parliament, to be honest, I can't think of one right now.
The Senate?
In the Senate, we've seen people like Senator Sige. I feel like she's one of the exceptional members of that house. Like she's a nominated senator, but she's doing exceptional in what she was tasked to do. We've seen how she's followed up with the disability bill, and they are now trying to push for Kenya Sign Language as well, alongside Omolche, I believe. Somebody like Senator Okia, they're actually doing well. So it is easier to mention the people who are doing well because they are less. The majority of them are actually failing at their mandates.
If you were told to describe Senator Onyonga with the kind of struggle that he's been making, I mean, in one word, how can you describe it?
Pretentious. That's a very pretentious man. He knows what he's doing, and for him, it's about maintaining the status quo as it is, while also pretending to align with what is currently, you know, in the grapevine and popular. But I don't trust him one bit. I don't.
If today you were told to address our friend Casper, how can you address him? Because we've seen him on the headlines of the magazine. The Standard just decided to brand him some name.
Yeah. I mean, what is there to address? That's an adult man of sane mind. He knows what he's doing. And a hard lesson I'm coming to learn is you cannot convince an adult that to do something they do not want to do. So it is just up to him to decide on which side of history he wants. I mean, he's already made the decision and crossed over to the other side. But it's never too late to, you know, take a step back and, you know, say, I've already betrayed the people, and instead of continuing to dig this grave that I keep on digging, I can just stop here at now and be at the mercies of, you know, whatever people decide.
People can't take him back.
That's what I'm saying. He can't be taken back. But because he can't be taken back doesn't mean he continues fueling the fire that we are trying to put off. You see? So he can just take a step back from fueling that fire, is what I'm trying to say.
What does your family say from whatever you do?
For the most bit, they're actually scared for me. And I feel like them fearing for me and the constant prayers and take cares that they usually shower on me is what allows me to move around with a bit more confidence and courage. But they do agree what I'm doing is necessary, and they keep encouraging me and praying for me and, you know, stifling their fears.
Did you ever think that you'll be this famous in your life?
Never. To be honest, never. If it was actually possible for me to go back to the kind of privacy I had prior to all this, I would in a snapshot. But I feel like this is a platform that I've been given so that I can elevate whatever issues we are fighting for. And I'm going to make use of this platform as much as I can. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And what can you tell people about this coming demonstrations on
Wednesday, June 25th marks 1 year since June 25th last year.
Since people died?
A lot of young people died on these streets here. I remember actually the farthest point I reached was on this side of Family Basilica before the roundabout. And I saw when young people were shaking the fence and it fell over and they rushed into Parliament, and I had heard gunshots. And that is when I received a call from my mom, and she was like, the military has been released. They've been told to come and control the situation. It's time, you know, to actually try and find your way back. And I saw blood. It was flowing from just in front of the Parliament, and the blood came all the way up to almost near the roundabouts. And that's when it hit me, the kind of impunity we are dealing with. If people are willing to kill young people who just have a bottle of water and a flag for trying to speak up for something they believed in, that's when I knew, like, you know, something needs to be done.
Kimeturamba.
Hey, by the way, we are in a bad situation. It's not even funny. But I feel like if more people actually show up to one, in remembrance of those people who have died, but also to demonstrate to the current government, the current leadership, that we will not take back, we will not just sit back and take injustice and watch bad things happening without, you know, speaking up. That will be a strong message.
What do you think? Is it a demonstration that is going to happen on Wednesday, or is it the remembrance of our fallen heroes?
I mean, it's all one and the same thing. We are remembering them because they were killed and no form of justice has been accorded to them or their families. So it speaks to the state of the nation as it is. The reason why we have parents still crying, the reason why we still have policemen who have killed, still in their positions walking around the streets and continue to kill, is because institutions are not being, the people in charge of institutions are not doing their jobs the way they are supposed to do their jobs. So it is all attached in one way or another. And the thing about June 25th, there's so much of it that we can predict. We've already put out the notice that we're going to do a peaceful march, remembering the people who lost their lives. We're going to have the parents and the siblings and the family members of these young men and women who died. And we're going to place flowers in various spots within the CBD. And then there's also talk of people who want to walk towards State House. We're going to deliver a petition to Parliament. And then there's a group of people who are saying they also want to walk towards State House and deliver a message to Ruto himself. But we can't really plan the details of it to T, because we know what happens. As soon as we start gathering in one place, we don't even take 10 or 15 minutes. Police are there tear gassing us. So the events of that day will depend entirely on how the police respond to young people, to our parents, to Kenyans from all walks of life coming together and saying we will not sit back and watch injustice take over our country.
Will you advise people to go to State House?
That's a tough question. State House is a protected zone. State House in itself is a protected zone, and no forms of protests and demonstrations are allowed to happen there. But people can walk towards State House. There's nothing wrong with that. They can picket and demonstrate outside the zones of State House. But my question would be, to what effect? We've already seen Ruto is not a man that you can try and speak to his morality or tap to his conscience. I don't imagine he's the type of person to say, they're outside here, State House, let me now resign or step aside or travel out of the country to seek asylum. If people actually want to oust the president through a civil coup, there needs to be much more planning and organization than what we have currently in place. But it's possible if people organize themselves. Is it possible for June 25th? I'm not sure.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Asante sana. Memaliza?